This is my toiletry bag. It carries everything that I need. However, it's really big, it's bulky, it weighs a ton, and most importantly, this thing takes up about half of my personal item. And that matters a lot for this trip because I am planning to go to Canada for a wedding on only my personal item. So I'm really gonna have to downsize this toiletry bag. I've got some new tools that I'm gonna use today and some new tips that I learned from some content creators that I watched here on YouTube. So let's get to it. Hi everyone, my name's Karina, and if you are anything like me with a slight obsession with skincare, obvious need for hair care, and traveling with makeup, your toiletry bag probably looks something like this. So we got some makeup palettes in here, lots of various skincare products and some makeup. You're probably also in the same boat where you bring all this stuff and you don't need all of it. Like you don't use the entire bottle. So like, why are we bringing so much product? So after watching a few videos, shout out to Reagan Shorter. She's also traveling on personal item only. And I got a lot of these tips from her. I've got a few things that I'm going to use to try and minimize a lot of these products. I've got these 10 milliliter air pumps. I've got about 12 of these. And then I have this magnetic makeup kit. It's so tiny. And if you have nails, or if you don't have nails, or you have like fragile nails, it's probably a little hard to open, but you can always use like your tweezers and just pop it right open. But it's super cute. It's got like 10 slots for you to put your makeup in. So we're gonna be transferring over a couple of my favorite shades to put into this mini palette. Okay, so to start off with, we're gonna head over to the bathroom. Okay, so for skincare, I've got face wash, moisturizing serum, moisturizer, pads of like salicylic acid and whatnot. I also have retinol cream. This is kind of the same thing, and also I'm not going to bring both of them. Hair stuff, I've got my hair oil. This is my hair gel, hair cream. Oh, sunscreen, obviously, very important. This is makeup remover, vitamin C serum, Redual serum. It's like an eye cream. Deodorant, floss, makeup. I've got powder there. All sorts of makeup brushes and whatnot over here. Mascara. And I got a couple eyeliners, concealer, some lip liner, lipstick. And then I've got my 2 makeup palettes. Jeez. Well, that broke. Okay, so that helps today. 2 makeup palettes. And then my blush and my bronzer, which I just slammed on the counter and broke. So that's everything that's packed in this bag. I think we can take all of this and probably fit it into this bag. All right, so let's get started maybe with just all of the liquids and see what we can fit in here. This is basically all of the liquids that I have. I know I can reduce this at least by 1. I don't need to travel with the adapalene. I can just take the Retin-A. The rest, I'm gonna try and fit, but we'll start with the face wash, work our way down the system. Okay, so to transfer this soap into this little 10 milliliter capsule, we just, since the air lock stopper is already at the bottom, we don't have to do anything. Just open up the top and then start pouring the gel right into the container. Okay, it doesn't want to go in, just sitting there on top. So I'm probably gonna have to tap it a little. I think I vacuum sealed it to the top of the bottle. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little safety pin and I'm just gonna poke a little hole. There's some air trap. All right, the trick is don't put too much at a time. I'm actually gonna get a little towel because this is getting really loud. All right, we're basically almost done with this. There's a little bit of the cap that sticks into the bottle, so I think I'm gonna just leave it at this level. No, that was good. Sweet, one down, like 10 more to go. Oh, I forgot to mention, labels. I don't have any fancy labels for these little bottles, but what I do have is sticky notes, scotch tape, and scissors. So I'm just gonna cut these little sticky notes and tape them onto the little bottles. Wow, the serum pump was actually a lot easier. That was like less than a minute versus the 10 minutes it took me to do the face wash. Actually, that squeezy tube, not bad either. Okay, so deodorant. This is more like a gel deodorant. And as you can see, like it's almost done. Like I basically have none left. So whatever's left at the top of this container, I'm just gonna transfer over to another one of those little vacuum seal tubes. See, it comes out like a gel. You kind of got to scrape it out and then put it in here. So it's gonna be weird. I got this little scraper tube from a different moisturizer, so I just washed it off and I'm gonna try and like scrape it off and put it into the little tube. So wish me luck. All right, this is it. I give up. I don't have the patience to keep putting this deodorant in this tiny little tube. That's that. Ah, it works. Yay. We're all done with the serums, liquids, face wash, etc. And now it's time for the makeup, which is probably going to be a little bit harder. So from what I know, you're supposed to break it up into like a tiny little pieces, almost like a powder, and then we'll like funnel it into the little dishes and then press it down with, well, spray it with some rubbing alcohol and then press it down. And it should compact back into a regular flat powder. So let's try it. So normally I'll take these palettes, these 2 palettes, but honestly, out of this one, I generally just use this brown right here and then the highlighter. And then on this palette, that's messy. I'll use sometimes like a mix, like sometimes this gold or like this little pink highlighter. Sometimes this one, the flat like nude color. So I'm just gonna pick a couple of colors out of here and then transfer them into these little pots. In the palette, like you can see here, there are 2 larger slots and then the 8 like smaller ones. So for the 2 larger ones, I'm gonna do my bronzer and my blush. So let's start with the bronzer since I already broke that one. So let me get a little piece of paper so I can kind of crush this stuff up and then funnel it into these little, or sorry, this little one. I'm going to use a pair of tweezers. I know sometimes people have kind of like these little spatulas that they use, but I don't have one of those. So I'm just going to use this. I don't know if when you were a kid you ever played in the bathroom with like whatever soaps you could find under the sink and like mix them all up in like a bowl or in the sink and pretended you were a witch and made potions. But that's kind of what this makes me feel like right now. I think this is pretty much like as powdery as I'm going to be able to get it. It's actually really satisfying. It feels so soft. I'm going to pour this into the square. Okay, I think that's probably good enough. And then I have to spray it with rubbing alcohol. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Then I got to cover it with a piece of tissue. Just rip up a little piece of tissue here, put it right on top. I have seen people online use like a little sponge, something like with Give. So I'm just going to take like a little piece of cotton ball and put that over this. And then this is their little press. Hey, no. That's terrible. Okay, let's try this. Let's put a little bit more actually in here. Okay, I tried. I really tried to be very gentle with that. Oh, wow. People online make this look a lot easier than it actually is. This time I'm just going to put this on and then smash with provided tool. Okay, we're getting there. This is so much more difficult than you think it is. You know, everything's an experiment, and we'll just see how this one does in travel. Okay, there she sits. This is a mess. I'm gonna have to clear this out first. All right, just washed off the tweezers, ready for round 2. This feels more powdery than the last one, so I'm praying for the best here. I am so sorry to Reagan Shorter for thinking that I could have done this better. I'm getting off my high horse right now. Okay, that's good, that's good. I'm just gonna squish with this first. Okay, not bad, not bad. Just press it in there. I think this one came out better than the last one. Not bad. Comparatively to the first one, I think this one's better, so we can go up from here. This one's definitely gonna be harder. Oof. Wow, I got a lot of that in my makeup brush. So I'm gonna have to really be gentle with this one. When I was looking for these, I was looking for absolutely tiny. And I think I achieved that. Okay, yeah, devastating. Okay, it's fine. You know what? It's that like sometimes the professionals, I think they have these presses that are like insane. They like crank. Oh my God, I'm getting better at this every time. Holy moly. That is perfect. Way better. Next, I'm going to do this highlighter color right here. It's kind of like goldish. Honestly, guys, I think it's all about the press. Like the pressing of it and the using cotton ball and then the hard press. I think that's what's really making it work. So I'm going to keep doing that and see how the rest of them come out. 45 minutes later and a lot of mess. I have a nearly full palette. I didn't fill this one, just I didn't really have anything else that I wanted to bring. Okay, I'm a little worried because it kind of goes over and then back. So I think I'm going to put a little tissue on top just to protect it while it's drying, or I'll just leave it out and let it dry and then put a tissue on it or something just to, you know, make sure it doesn't fall into a different color. It did come with these little tools, so they go right up in here. It seems a little big. Okay, there's one, and then here's the other. So I'll leave them in there. I don't know how much I'm going to use them because the brush isn't the normal like tip that I use, but it'll be nice to have. All right, that's the finished product. Oh, in case you're curious, so this is the hair gel, the Cantu Define and Shine Custard. I love this stuff. It is amazing. It's hard to find sometimes, but when I'm traveling, I have these little like pots that I use, and I just kind of like scoop it up and then it actually does not screw on the top. It just kind of like it just fits snug on the little ridges, so it keeps it safe. I decided last minute I am gonna take my adapalene in one of these little containers because these two products, they're kind of very similar. I don't use this one every day. This one I could use every day because it's like less strong. So I'm gonna leave this one at home. I'm gonna transfer this one into the 10 milliliter tube, except this isn't really supposed to be exposed to light. So I'm gonna wrap up the 10 milliliter tube in some painter's tape. And hopefully that'll help keep it kind of dark in there. Maybe I'll wrap it up twice. I also realized I forgot about the pour pad. So I'm gonna put these into a little container, same as my hair gel, except I'm going to fold them into quarters like this so that hopefully they fit. Yes. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm just gonna take maybe like 4 of these. I'm only going for a 5-day trip. I don't use these every single day, but that'll keep me for more than enough time. All right, all full. And I think that's the last one. We did it! I cannot believe we went from this thing to everything. Everything is in here. It's so much thinner. It's like smaller, so much lighter. The only thing that I couldn't put into a smaller container is the like loose powder, but I just couldn't find something that would work. But yeah, I'm so proud of myself. All right. Well, I'll show you in the next video how I put everything into my personal item. Hopefully everything that I can fit into my personal item, all my clothes, all my electronics, everything that I need for this weekend wedding getaway in Canada. All right. Well, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.